On Paramount Mountain, the stakes get higher.
I mean, I can't get that thing up there. If it were a football, I'd be able to reach the top.
What about a football-shaped head? We throw the child.
Gutsy call, sir.
Smart thinking.
What? No, that's dumb thinking. He's not throwing Arnold.
Throw him.
Throw him.
Hey, do you want an immunity idol?
What? You can't throw a child at a wall.
Paramore, shut your face!
Shut me.
Unless you prefer to freeze to death.
I'm not gonna throw a kid.
Not built for the moment, I see. Fine. I'll throw him.
And Creed's here.
Watch and learn.
Dang, he's cool.
It's the fifth quarter, and we need a hole-in-one before the seventh inning stretch. Be brave. Hike! Can you take me higher? To a place where blind see. I just threw him higher. Come on. To a place where we won't freeze.
He just threw me high. I'm good.
So close.
How are we gonna get up there?
Now, if there were only someone made of pigskin.
Bingo.
Oh, dear.
Good morning, everybody. What's up? Welcome to the NBA Bit. It's Friday. We're going to have fun on Friday, and that is the most insane ad I've seen in a long time. So I decided we're not monetizing today's show because I needed to start with that commercial. That is supposed to be, that is a look at a Super Bowl commercial, which I got questions just for, like, if that is, in fact, the Super Bowl commercial and there's not another variation of it. What you already showed us. We already saw it. We already saw the Super Bowl commercial. But man, like whoever somebody was hitting the same stuff that Matic Auto, that Stan loves, that Sneeps are hitting in the morning to get that together. We got a little bit of everything. I even saw Sonic the Hedgehog freaks who were just like, oh my God, that's what's his name? Knuckles. So it had a little bit of everything. Wild start. But I got to tell you, listen, anytime you put Creed into anything, I'm down, baby. I am down. Didn't Drew Barrymore get canceled for being the only one who didn't support the writer's strike? Yeah, it was. It was one of those weird things though, where it was between. It's like technically those types of shows are like sort of exempt, but not really exempt. But yeah. But then she ended up not doing the show after all. So they like came back. It looked like it was going to come back, and then it ended up not coming back, or it only came back for a day or something like that. But anyways, what a start to the day. I hope everybody's doing well. We got some fast break content coming at you a little bit later today on the So Rare channel. And then we also have Live Before Lock because we get a new game week. We got a new game week coming in at you. And some injury stuff went down last night that we'll talk about that might impact some stuff. But man, it was a pretty wild one. Also, shout out Weisberg and Sneeps, who had a nice little playback for that Celtics Lakers game last night, which we will absolutely get into. But I feel like we got some like drama stuff to get into, which I'm excited. We got a little bit of everything. We had All-Stars, right? The All-Stars were selected, and then I'm going to decide, like, I know there's a lot of people being like, dude, Karl Anthony Towns, seriously, over Sabonis? He's not even the second best player on his own team. What about Rudy Gobert? I don't think I'm going to do it. I'm just going to be excited for Cat. Put him back in the three-point contest. I think it's fine. I'm not going to be mad about it. But yeah, we'll talk more about the All-Star selection a little bit, but we got to start with Bron, baby. LeBron James. We get some drama in Lakerland, even though the Lakers got a W last night over the Celtics, but we got a tweet that came from David Pingalore. We'll share screen over here, right? We'll share, where's this at, girl? All right, so David Pingalore, the Lakers are doing LeBron. Oh, no, that's not what I was looking for. Where is the initial tweet here? Oh, here it is. Hearing from NBA peeps, King James is the top of the Lakers list to trade the 39-year-old. Pelinka is looking for the right team to dance with and is close to a suitor. Now, I saw this tweet come out pretty early, and I just was like, this is horseshit. This is not a real tweet. But then everybody else went ham going into the receipts here. And then you look at David in the past was recently told NBA people that LeBron James has put feelers out regarding to a return to the Cavs in 2 years. Now this was 2012 before he did make his return to the Cavs. You also had another one just now, hours away before NBA free agency. It said, my source continues to tell me Kawhi is highly likely and really leaning more to sign a deal with the Clippers. That was before anybody knew about that. And then the Lakers are doing LeBron a favor and paying back, making the Lakers his next team. So just kind of, I'm of the mindset of, there we go. LeBron unfollowed the Lakers on Truth Social. Okay, Boston base. I'm of the mindset that I really don't think that's happening this year. And I know the tea leaves were nuts because so this tweet I think surfaced right after LeBron and Anthony Davis were both ruled out of last night's Lakers Celtics game, which felt more coincidental to me than anything else because LeBron has been playing heavy minutes lately. And at one point we were going to see this, like it was annoying that they both sat for lots of reasons, but I think that has more to do with that and less to do with trade talks. I don't see a world where Rob Pelinka has the cojones to do that mid-season, right? Where I think there are still expectations, even though you see the Lakers towards the bottom end of the play-in, there's still expectations that they're going to make a run, right? And I don't see a world in which unless LeBron is in his ear being like, get me out of here. I do think there's some smoke in the sense that he could be moved in the offseason, right? Because is it a player option for next year? Like I could definitely see a world in which he is not on the Lakers next season. But for this, I mean, the trade deadline is like 6 days away. So I don't see a world in which the Lakers all went from we need to add ancillary pieces or somebody like DeJounte Murray so that we can go make a run in the Western Conference to should we trade the second best player of all time? I just don't see that happening. And yeah, as Weisberg pointed out too, like we still have, Bronny playing his USC basketball. LeBron obviously said he wants to play with them. We'll see what this season brings. I just don't see it happening in the next 8 days. That feels a little far-fetched. But I do think there is some real smoke behind. Like clearly there's some unhappiness and some saltiness. I was watching the Lakers Celtics game last night, and one of the funniest things, and I get it as somebody who does shows every day and I'm trying to fill an hour. I get sometimes you just like rattle stuff off the top of your head, and Reggie Miller is just reacting to what he's seeing. But one of my favorite things last night is LeBron. So D'Lo, I think it was either D'Lo or Austin Reeves. Somebody makes a play. Celtics call a timeout, which they needed to do a bunch last night. And then Anthony Davis and LeBron, who are in street clothes on the sideline, are clapping. And they're like, oh, yeah, it's good. And Reggie Miller's like, yeah, you love to see that of your two best players being willing to support their teammates when they're not out there. I'm like, listen, guys, if that is the bar for success that we are cheering on the people on our same team with the same goal, then I'm like, we gotta find something else to talk about. If that's the bravery and the boldness to get out there and support the people in the trenches with you. All right, Reggie, just chill, Reg. Is LeBron gonna play in the G League with Bronny? Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. I joked, I tweeted out LeBron KC because I mean they have like the most assets to make something like that happen. So we'll see. I'm still of the mindset and the belief that they're gonna go get some ancillary pieces and try to continue to make a run here. I mean, I know at least we talked about this at length yesterday, but at least they have the recent history to show that they can still be at the bottom and make a run, right? You have LeBron, you have AD. I don't know, but let's get into that first game, and then we'll do we'll do the All-Stars after. So the Lakers beat the Celtics. We only have 4 games. We can like rifle through it. Lakers beat the Celtics 114-105. Lakers get another, so no LeBron, no AD, and then Vando, who's off to a pretty hot start in like 14 minutes, had 10 and 7, couple steals, block. I don't know what he rolled. He was grabbing his leg, and it was a freak looking thing. It didn't look like he stepped on anybody's foot, just all of a sudden, and then like limped to the locker room right before halftime, never came back. So they were super shorthanded last night, and Jackson Hayes was giving the Celtics the business early on. It was just a really bizarre game. Reeves, Hillbilly Kobe was going off. He finished with 32. Was hitting. I don't know how many threes he hit, but it felt like 45. He was on fire. D'Lo almost had a triple double. He had 16 points, 14 dimes, 8 boards. Tatum finished with 23 and 7. And then Porzingis and Hauser both had 17. No one else got in double figures. And it was a pretty bad loss. I think, like, when you look at the Clippers came into town, beat the hell out of them. That was a pretty bad one. The Nuggets won, like, whatever. And we've seen this a couple of times from the Celtics where they just kind of slip up. But I don't know. I thought Porzingis after had some interesting comments where he's just kind of like, yeah, everybody's gonna freak out, and yeah, this was a bad loss, but like it's February, and we learned from it, and we're going through a tough stretch right now. I think that was some of Tatum's quotes too. But yeah, I think it's one of those things too. We've seen this a couple of times where like Detroit took it to OKC a couple weeks or last weekend, where you take the foot off the gas, right? You look at this Lakers roster, you see AD and LeBron have been ruled out. And I think you take the foot off the gas. They punched him in the mouth early. And then I was saying to somebody that last night, I was like, in the third quarter, if the Celtics come back and take the lead, they win by like 10 or 15, right? But they didn't. They didn't. The Lakers hung on, and they were pretty strong. And they every time the Celtics made a push, D'Lo made a play. Austin Reeves knocked down a tough triple. Jackson Hayes put in a putback, and they just continued to kept coming at him. They kept coming at him. So good win for the Lakers. I mean, that's maybe that quells some of the questions there. Even Christian Wood still managed to not do much, even though all those guys were out, which is kind of funny. But yeah, good win for the Lakers. Pretty bad win, bad loss for the Celtics. But again, I don't know. I just can't like live and die with the games in February too much. But it was a bad loss. It was definitely a bad loss for them. Let's do some positive vibes here. This Jalen Brunson story is awesome. It's so fun. The game last night, the Pacers were just throwing everything at Brunson. The Knicks couldn't knock down a three. They were without OG Anunoby, obviously without Randall, who's going to miss a few more weeks. They were without Quentin Grimes, and the Knicks just kept coming, and it was just Brunson, man. Brunson just found ways to beat double teams, to get to the line. Like, he did everything. Finished the game with 40 points and 5 dimes. Dante had 20. Precious Achua, who got the start, was awesome. He had 12 points, 16 boards, and he had 6 stocks. Neesmith had a solid game. He had 17 and 6. Jalen Smith, 20 and 9. Hallie's still in that minutes restriction, so that's part of it. But this was a tough loss for the Pacers. Pacers had this game. But the Knicks, the Brunson stuff is just awesome, man. And it feels like I tweeted this out last night. This has to be the best vibes the Knicks have had since Jeremy Lin. Right, that like 9 or 12 game stretch, whatever it is, where Linsanity happened, like MSG was popping. I mean, I know we've had a few other runs where some Melo and Stoudemire times, right? Like I think the Celtics and Knicks played up playoffs. I just remember that Christmas Day game where the Knicks and Celtics squared off, and it's pretty exciting. I know they've had some runs, but the vibes around it, I mean, it's like palpable. You can like feel it. Oh, Steve Novak, double check. Good call, homies. But you can feel it. I mean, like, New York is just bubbling with excitement. Ben Stiller's all over Twitter. He's everywhere. Him and Sam Morril just trying to be like the celebs for the New York games alongside Spike Lee. And it is it's fun. And somebody else posed a question like, is he at Derek Jeter level right now? Now, Jeter did it forever, right? He did it for years and years and years. But to come into the mecca of basketball, right, New York, and to take a team that, I don't know, has playoff aspirations, right? I don't think that anybody was looking at this squad being like, especially after what we saw him do in the playoffs last year, like, great, you won a round, and that's kind of what we thought we were going to see from him. And then for Brunson to come out here the night that he gets voted into his first All-Star game, was pretty cool. And there was some great clips going around. I want to make sure I can get this in here. Where is it? So last night, let me share this. Last night he was interviewed after the game, and of course MSG, like some of the best fans in the game, were doing some chants here for him, and this is pretty cool.
Just talk about the journey you've been on and how it has reached this point now where you're on the garden floor hearing MVP chants and you're going to the All-Star game.
I mean,
I got nothing to say. I got nothing to say. All right, then talk about your teammates because I know you will.
And just awesome, right? And it kind of makes you laugh that like you think about the deal Brunson signed, and it's what a steal, and the fact that I know, well, and Common Man's still broken inside that you guys don't have him anymore, especially because you've went and found another tiny and cute guy, but at least this tiny and cute guy plays basketball, unlike the tiny and cute guy that you have, who wasn't going to miss any games and then miss 4 in a row, I think it is, for Kyrie. But yeah, really good stuff from Brunson, man. And it's exciting. And the Knicks have just been on fire. It's like the best January I think they've ever had. And they've just been on fire since the OG trade. Now, and they haven't played like a ton, like their schedule hasn't been crazy, but you look at the standings now and they're right up they're right up there, right? Because the Bucks have been squabbling a little bit and haven't been getting it together yet, which I still believe that they're going to be fine, but they're like straight up a half game back from Milwaukee right now. It's awesome. How are the Mavs not better with him and Luka? I mean, they were. Yeah, what do you mean? They were better. Knicks to the finals. Percy Jackson theory confirmed. There you go, Sneeps. There you go. But yeah, I made the statement yesterday that Tatum was going to be in the MVP conversation in a couple of weeks. Well, before that happens, it might be Brunson in the MVP conversation, because if he takes this Knicks team to a 2 seed or something, you got to put him out there. He's been incredible. He's been really fun to watch and just dominant and does it in different ways. It was also announced too that he's going to be doing the 3-point contest in the All-Star game. So, and because he's been shooting over 40% at volume. It's crazy. It really is crazy. The vibes in New York are fun, man. I know the balancing act is Tibbs, right? Tibbs is really good at getting a regular season team to win 50 plus games and then flaming out in the playoffs. So we'll see. But to go on this little run without Randall, without OG, and it sounds like I think they said Randall is in good spirits, but is going to miss 2 to 3 weeks, I think. So we'll see. We'll see. Do you think the Knicks can beat the Heat in the playoffs? I mean, this version of Miami, yeah, I do. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, it's hard to evaluate. We're so brainwashed by Miami, and rightfully so, just because of what they've shown us in the past. But Miami in April is just a different beast. It's just a different beast. All right, let's get to Cavs and Grizzlies. This one was absolutely tilting for fantasy purposes, for pick'em purposes. I had some like pretty juicy pick'ems that looked like they were going to hit easily. I needed Jared Allen to get over, I think, 37 fantasy points. And he had 36 1 minute into the second half. And then he got hurt. He asked out of the game. The trainers were looking at him, and then he never returned. That makes it sound like he died, but he did not return to the game. I haven't seen any reports. The Cavs only have 1 game this game week, if we're talking so rare. But with Mobley still being on a minutes restriction, he didn't play last night. It does make me wonder if we're going to see Damian Jones, who played basically the whole second half for the Cavs. But Cavs still get the win, 108-101. I will say, like, even though the Grizzlies are going to be absolutely in the lottery and they don't have any like real chance of doing anything, it has been kind of fun watching this team scrap. Like Santi Aldama, Scottie Pippen, David Roddy. It's just like a bunch of dudes that Tibbs would turn into all-stars probably. But they like hang tough in a lot of these games. I know they've dropped a couple in a row now after that game to Sacramento, but they're in it the whole time. Spida had 25, 7, and 4. Darius Garland's minutes got ticked up a little bit to 24. I still don't think we can like play him in anything, but Garland getting a little bit more run. But yeah, Allen in 21 minutes had 14 and 9 with 3 blocks. Triple J had 25 and 5 and 5. Santi Aldama 18 and 9. Vince Williams Jr. too. He's a fun story. But yeah, like all of the love we just gave the Knicks, who have won 9 in a row, 9 and 1 in their last 10. The Cavs are 9 and 1 in their last 10. I think they're like 14 of 15. And so even though the Knicks are only a half game back from the Bucks, the Cavs are just a half game back from the Knicks. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. What do we got here? Weisberg said Brunson got a player option in 2 years. He's about to get paid again. Yeah, I know. Everybody was talking about that yesterday. Are you going to pre-record fast break vids for the weekend? No, not. Once I start doing the weekend stuff, it'll be so. I mean, I don't know if anybody cares, but we're Team Hold So Rare channel just got approved for monetization. So we're going to start, I got to wait for them to do like one last check, and then we're going to fire up a membership thing, and it'll be like a members only thing for the weekend content. No free weekend content. All right. So anyways, good win for Cleveland. Tough or good loss, I guess, for Memphis, we'll say. And then the last game of the night, I can't believe I stayed up for it. Stayed up for the whole thing. This was a really fun one. Maxey and the Sixers went nuts. So I can't believe there's so much happened yesterday. I forgot to lead with the Embiid stuff. So Shams came out and reported that Embiid had a torn meniscus, and then Woj was like, well, they have a damaged meniscus, and the staff is still looking at what this means. And then Shams hours later came out and said, I initially said it was torn, but it's just kind of like banged up a little. He walked it back. So the Embiid stuff sucks. It really does suck. And it was kind of wild too. Like hours before, they got fined $75,000 for how they handled the Embiid stuff in Denver. And it wasn't that Embiid didn't play. That's not why they didn't fine him because he didn't play, but it was because the way they handled it, right? Where he like wasn't on the injury report, and then all of a sudden, bang, he was out. But the Embiid stuff really sucks. I mean, he was putting up historic stuff. I mean, to think about where we were like a week or so ago, right? Where Embiid just dropped 70 points against the Spurs. And I mean, it was just kind of like, wow, this dude is on another level right now. He just like the best scoring center since like Shaq, and then breaking records that Wilt had, right? That's where we were just a few weeks, not even a week, like a week ago. And now we're sitting here being like, well, he's out of the MVP conversation. Obviously, he's not going to play in the All-Star game. And now, like, what does this mean? What does this mean like for the Sixers the rest of the season? There's a chance. So the meniscus injuries, right? If it does not require surgery and you can rehab it, could be like 3 to 6 weeks and he's back, or it could be 3 to 6 months. And it sucks, man. It sucks. And I know the Sixers had a really easy start to the year with their schedule. They had like one of the easiest schedules of the season, but with all the Harden drama, it just felt like the vibes were so bad. Philly was fucked. And then we see Maxey like blossom into an all-star. He got voted into his all-star, his first all-star in his 4th year. We're seeing that, like Nick Nurse was having fun with them. They were a fun team to watch. There was joy in the hoops. And now we're at a point where like, it's bad. It's bad. I'm going to say, and so Tesla says, how do you split the blame pie between Embiid, Nurse, medical staff, and management? So I don't know, man. I don't know what the conversation was like, it would be all speculative, right? Like, because we don't really know who said what about playing, about not playing, right? Like, did Embiid get freaked out by the discourse around him ducking Denver again? Which I honestly would be surprised about, because even though Embiid is like pretty online, well, he kind of seems to have like a I don't give a fuck attitude, but he is also very online. It's kind of like Kevin Durant. So I don't think no one is blaming Looney. Well, right, but it was Kuminga that fell on him, so it would be a real weird move if we just blamed Looney for it. I don't really know. I mean, I think the one thing that we all agree upon, right? If you watched any clips from that first half of Embiid against Golden State, he wasn't right. And he already went to the locker room because of it. I think everybody could see he wasn't right. The broadcast called it out. Like Embiid definitely knew that. And if he was just playing to try to get to 65 games, or because he felt like he was, just being dunked on a little bit too much, someone should have stepped in and taken him out. But I don't know. Yeah, 65 game requirement for accolades probably played a role too. Maybe, yeah. I mean, that's definitely part of it. It's definitely part of it, but I don't know. It's too bad though. It sucks. It really sucks. And Tesla was saying, feels like this is a total organization failure at all levels. How are you letting narratives run your franchise? Yeah. I mean, that is. And again, I don't know what the conversations were like, right? Like, was Embiid being like, I'm going out there, there's nothing I'm playing tonight? Did the medical staff clear him? Like, I don't know what the inner workings. I guess we'll be able to tell in a couple weeks if somebody gets fired, right? Like, if all of a sudden the training staff is replaced, then we know. But it sucks. That sucks for Philly. I hate to see that. I really do hate to see that. But some positive news for Philly. Maxey went ham last night. He dropped 51. And so if you didn't watch the game, what was so impressive about it, I think he had 28 points or 30, something wild in the first half. And Chris Dunn in the second half, and I did not expect to talk about Chris Dunn more than Maxey at this point, but Chris Dunn came out in that third quarter, and I highly recommend, even if it's a condensed version, just go watch some clips of the third quarter. Chris Dunn was all over Maxey in that third quarter. It was nuts. He was just on him. It was crazy, and like Maxey couldn't get anything going. There was one awesome drive where Dunn is draped on him. Maxey finds a way to get by him, and then Dunn still finds a way to recover as Maxey is in the lane and blocks him. It was more of a rip than a block, but like almost like a reach around, comes around and grabs the ball from him. It was like the best defending I've seen from an on-ball defender in a long time. And it was funny because I was writing some notes down while I was watching the game to this morning, and I was ready to be like, it's kind of crazy that Chris Dunn is the best on-ball defender, and yet Maxey still lit him up like that. And then Chris Dunn, before I could even write the notes down, was like, absolutely not, dude. I am the best on-ball defender. It was really impressive stuff. But then he was funny. He doesn't come back into the game. He plays his first like 8 minutes of the third quarter. Chris Dunn does not come back in. And it was pretty wild. But anyways, Maxey with 51. Toby had 28, 7, and 5. Big B-ball Paul, baby, with 7 points, 10 boards, and 4 dimes. You had Laurie had 28 and 10. Johnny Collins, 15 and 9. Sexton, 22 and 6. And Clarkson had double off the bench, 16 and 10. Really fun game, though. It had some overtime energy, which I was kind of rooting for. I think I finished 12th in the underdog like main tournament last night, which is pretty fun. Weisberg saying jumped on Stu's play. Oh, shout out Stu. And our guy was 43rd in fast break, mid-third quarter. There you go. 13-4. And later he won. There you go. That is a fun sweat. Yeah, I was trying to tell people about the yesterday in fast break. I said, just plug in Maxey. And if Maxey doesn't play, you can just pivot to Tobias Harris now that they have the late swap thing. So I hope you all listen, because Tobias Harris was a free square, and he saved you probably if you played Tatum or Jaylen Brown or something, because they were dog doo. But anyways, that was last night's NBA action. That was a lot of fun. There was also a trade I meant to talk about with the Grizzlies. So weird one. I don't really understand who's doing what here, but the Grizzlies get Victor Oladipo, head into grit and grind for and 3 second-round picks for Steven Adams. Did not see that coming. That was not on my my bingo board, my vision board, whatever. And it was just kind of funny too, because this was fresh off of all the reporting from The Athletic that came out yesterday and the day before about how Houston was ready to go get themselves a superstar. And they did get a superstar, baby, in Steven Adams, right? Let's talk about the rest of the All-Star selection from last night too. That was pretty great. I got another, did I lose it? Oh, come on. Hold on. I had another. Actually, you know what I can do? Another video that I wanted to share you guys because the starting announcement. Here we go. There we go. This is a beautiful video. So Paolo Banchero, the second year, got onto his first All-Star team, and this was him finding out. It was pretty good stuff here. Hold on.
From the Orlando
I love this. Love this for Paulo. That was fun. That was really cool. I'm here for Paulo. The Banchero, bro, baby. So last night, the rest of the All-Stars that were selected, right? We'll do the East first. So Jalen Brunson gets in. Jaylen Brown gets in. Spida Mitchell, Paolo Banchero, Bam Adebayo, Julius Randle, and Maxey get in. So kind of what we thought from the guards, right? I think this is what most people were predicting, that Brunson had to get in, Spida had to get in, and Maxey had to get in too. I know there was some Trae Young whispers about maybe being the wild card, but it seems like the wild card went to Paolo. I know they do 2 wild cards, so I guess it was Paolo and Maxey. But to me, Maxey had to get in, and it came down to Paolo and Trae Young for that last spot. And this is good. I'm glad. And I'm not like, I don't think you have to be the guy that has to be like, dude, you have to reward winning. It's an all-star game, dude. Just give me points, give me excitement, and maybe you could be like, well, Trae Young's more exciting than Paolo. Nah, I don't care. Paolo deserved to get in. He's had an awesome year, and that's pretty exciting. I do think there's still an opportunity for Trae to get in, because with with Randall out, right? And I think Embiid, I'm assuming, is going to miss as well. They're going to have to add two more roster spots to the East. So I think I think Trae Young is still potentially in there. Derek White is still in there. Honestly, Porzingis is probably in there. And then I don't know who else. Kuz. So we're going to get Kyle Kuzma in the All-Star game. There's probably another big that I'm forgetting that has an opportunity to maybe get in. But I'm going to tell you right now, the West are going to beat that ass when it comes to the All-Star game. It was pretty cool seeing Brunson and Maxey both get into their first All-Star game and then just go absolute bonkers last night. They were so good. But yeah, the West is going to smoke them. So here are the West reserves. Yeah, Chef Curry got in there. Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis, Paul George, Ant-Man, Devin Booker, and Karl Anthony Towns. So it seems like the Karl Anthony Towns is like the big sticking point for everybody, right? Because I think getting over Sabonis was the big one. I think everybody was like, Sabonis should be in there over Cat. Followed by I think there was some. I don't think anybody cares if Rudy gets into the All-Star game because nobody wants to watch that. But I do think like Rudy probably had a case to get in over him. But I was pretty surprised, actually. I thought Cat was on the short list, but I assumed like Cat wouldn't make it, Fox wouldn't make it. But you know what? They're one of the best teams in the West. They get 2 All-Stars. I'm okay with it. And neither of them got voted in, right? So I'm fine with it. I know there was a lot of discourse around Cat versus Bone, but whatever. I guess I want to see Cat over Sabonis anyways in the All-Star game. Cat will at least shoot some threes, you know? I remember winning. I think this was it the first All-Star game? Was it post-bubble All-Star game? I just remember betting on Karl Anthony Towns as a long shot to win the 3-point contest and those Mountain Dew balls. He was stroking it. Yeah, the Kuz. We really do need a Kuz drop. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. We'll do a little underdog ad read and then go build up. I'll pick them and then do some so rare. Today's NBA bit is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy Sports. Whether you're drafting Luka first overall in best ball or fading Wemby blocks in the pick'ems, Underdog is where you'll find Team Hold. Sign up today at underdogfantasy.com or just click the link in the description to get started. And by signing up using promo code HOLD, HOLD, you will get a 100% deposit bonus match up to $100. That's a free honey. So sign up today using promo code HOLD, HOLD, and get started at underdogfantasy.com. All right, we're back, baby. So brutal run out yesterday in our pick'em, right? Our pick'em, it looked like we were going to have a sweat there for a second, even though the Tatum and Brown, actually none of them got there. So Oubre only got to 16 points. We needed 18.5. Tatum only gets to 33 in a PRA. We needed 41. Jaylen Brown was awful. So that was a big L all around. Although, you know what? To be fair, we thought we were seeing a different game last night in that game. All right, let's go over to Underdog here. So we got a weird slate tonight. I actually don't love it too much. It's weird. We have like 10 games, but like none of them are very exciting. So we have Pistons at Detroit, Miami at Washington, Phoenix and Atlanta should have a lot of points, Sacramento and Indiana, Toronto at Houston, Golden State at Memphis, Orlando at Minnesota, Charlotte at OKC, Spurs and Pellies, and then Portland and Denver. So it's kind of a gross one. I am interested in whatever Sabonis's points, rebounds, and assists are because, as we saw, both Precious Achiuwa and Hartenstein kind of went ham last night. 42.5 points, rebounds, and assists look good. Also 12.5 rebounds. I think we'll go over on points, rebounds, and assists. I'm interested. If this was 1.5 for the triple-double, I think I would do that. But we'll start with Sabonis here. I also want to hit who is it that's playing? Is it Bam? Bam's playing. I know Miami's been weird offensively, but Washington has just been getting killed down low. So I'm kind of in that. Oh, Sneap's calling the shot, saying someone's going to drop 60. Heard it here first. Okay. I kind of want to just go over on the rebounds here. 11.5 for Bam. I kind of wish that was 10.5, but I think we'll just do that. And then I want to figure out Phoenix and Atlanta. Let's just look at the Suns, right? Because Atlanta is the team that if you want to talk about someone getting 60, it's probably Devin Booker tonight, right? So we've got KD's at 38.5 points, rebounds, and assists. That actually feels way too low. I feel like he could get 30. Okay, we're just going to take the over on. We're going to take the over on Booker points, 29.5. That's it. We're just going to do that right there, because he's been giving up a million points. So we're just going to put 10 to win 60. If you guys want to follow along here, I'll drop the link in the chat. For you podcast listeners, we did over 42.5 points, rebounds, and assists for Sabonis, over 11.5 boards for Bam, and then over 29.5. What about Gigi Jackson? Do we think we get a repeat performance against the Warriors? I bet Draymond took that personal, the Gigi height. The only thing about the Grizzlies is that they just have a lot of guys that can play like 18 minutes. I wonder if we even have, we don't even have a Gigi Jackson line. So you have Jaren Jackson Jr., John Concher, Vince Williams. I love Vince Williams, man. 13.5 for Vince Williams. That's the over I would take there. And then Santi Aldama. I think Santi's a baller. Santi is a baller, baby. Let's go over to So Rare. We had a couple of nice sweats. Anthony Edwards, just a straight lineup killer this past game week. But we did take home a couple rewards here. We took up a couple rewards. It looks like looks like they just did the refresh here. So we took home, I believe, a rare tier 3 and a limited tier 2. Limited tier 2 for this lineup here. We had SGA drop 61. The big Ragu, DiVincenzo was 70. Josh Hart 48. Şengün 64. And Derek White 45. So we'll take the tier 2. We'll take the tier 2 there. Our limited contender, I thought was going to have a shot here, but Simons and Colin Sexton really disappointed there. And then the rare contender, this was brutal because I was winning a tier 2 until like the very last possession of the Jazz game. I think somebody with Laurie came storming back, but Ant only dropping 40. Ant almost being my least scoring guy on this team is brutal, right? Ant, Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, Scottie Pippen, Santi Aldama. Pretty tough stuff there. Pretty tough stuff. Looking at this though, I was kind of excited about the upcoming slate because the Thunder dudes are projecting really well this game week. Let's go. We'll enter a lineup here before we start wrapping up. Only 4 games. I thought I was going to have more excitement here to keep us going. All right. So, we also have the Eastern Conference. I forgot we have the Eastern Conference, which I don't think I'm going to mess around with because I don't have a good squad for it this game week. But I do think I think we can get away going Scotty and Ant in this lineup potentially. Emmanuel Quickly's a game time decision. He projects so well that I do kind of want to play IQ as well. But I picked up some Thunder Bros because there's no J-Dub for a little bit. So I do think you can mess around with, where is he? Aaron Wiggins is going to project well. Jalen Williams as well. I do still think Scottie Pippen could end up being a play too. It was also just weird saying Scottie Pippen. But all of those guys are going to be in play again this game week. But yeah, So Rare live before lock. If you missed value, that's tonight at 5:30. If you missed value hunting, that's already up there, and we're cruising along, baby. 705 subs over there now, I think. We're almost at 10K on the other channel, even though I've been slacking with a video. I got to get a video up there ASAP, Rocky. But I think that's it today, guys. I don't have much else. You guys the chat have anything they need to get into before we call it quits here today? If you're in the underdog streets, so shoot me a DM, man. Or I want to get, or maybe we just get that channel bumping a little bit more in the Discord. I want to talk more about these NBA drafts, man. When do the rewards come in after these bi-weekly challenges done? So good questions, Volleyball. I forgot you just started getting into it. So we'll get them probably in the next hour or two. We'll definitely get them before. Oh, you got a limited dub? Hell yeah. We'll definitely get them before like noon Eastern probably, and well before lock. So if you won something, you'll absolutely be able to use it this game week, which is fun. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll build my limited champ right now. Let's build my limited champ. I'm going to start with SGA as my MVP. We'll start with him. I think I can get Şengün in there, although Şengün's got an illness, so we don't know if he's going to play yet. Emmanuel Quickly, again, I think he's going to be like his cap's down to 33, which I kind of like. Actually, you know what we'll use? Let's go use Billy Jackson's tool here. Let's go use top tier projections. Just in case you guys haven't messed around with top tier projections and you're thinking about it. I know we use Momentum Labs, but I'm a big fan of using a bunch of different projections. I'll show you guys how sick this platform is if you haven't used it. So, right, this is me. I'm logged in already. I'm going to allow them cookies. But if you just log in, right, you can sort by value, right? And then it just shows you who some of the best plays are based on their cap this game week. But what I love too is like, you'd be like, okay, what is the optimal contender lineup? And it's got SGA, Brandon Miller, Gordon, Aaron Wiggins, and Jalen Williams. Okay. So that, and you can sort by contender, by champion. But what's sick, you go over to my collection And then I can go to, like, here, we'll build my common first, my common champ. It's going to tell me to play Şengün, Kuminga, Aaron Gordon. Wow, Gordon's cap is down to 24. Josh Hart again and Nikola Jokic. But yeah, we're doing limited champion, right? We're doing our limited champion. So yeah, it wants us to play SGA, Wiggins, Simons, Quickly, and Şengün. And then I have to decide, is this more upside or do I focus on the contender? If I run the wow, it's going to be playing SGA in my contender lineup? Whoa, Wiggins, that 193. We might have to do that. We might have to do that. Stan, oh, we the people. Best ball is going pretty well. So we had, I don't think they've updated it yet. I don't think they've updated the standings yet, but we've got, I think right now I have, let me see if they did. No, last time they updated it. Oh, no, they did update it this morning. So I've got a team in 186th here. This is my best team is in 186th right here. It's got 12,599. And then actually, you know what we'll do? We'll go over to Underdog and see if we can find that one quickly. But we're doing pretty good. I think we have like 30 teams that was 30 teams in like that would advance right now of the 150, which is 32 teams, I think, which is a really good advance rate. I'm like, you know, anything over 25, I'd be pretty happy with. But a lot of there's like two different prize pools, right? A lot of it is within, there's a regular season contest, which ends before like the playoff run of best ball. And then there's a playoff contest as well. But we can, what did I say? It was like 12,800 or something like that. This one's in first. We get a lot of third places too, which is kind of nuts. But let's go find, it's like 12,800 or something like that. But I'm pretty sure it's crazy because my Mark Williams stock is just killing me. But I'm pretty sure it is a Şengün big lineup where he's like, it's like Şengün, Mark Williams, and what's his name? Şengün, Mark Williams, and Wendell Carter Jr. maybe. But it's got like Maxey in the guard. Kawhi, and Scotty Barnes being overweight on those guys are why we're doing well, because Maxey's been awesome. I mean, it dropped a little bit because of the injury time that he missed. Did I miss it? Where is it? I did say it was 12,008. Is it not in? No, it's definitely still in first. Where is it? Let's see. 12,191. We can look at this one. This one has SGA, LaMelo, Maxey, Vassell, Melton, KCB. Melton's been out for a while, huh? But yeah, Scotty Barnes and Kawhi have been crushing. Jeremy Sohan's picked it up a couple of weeks, and then Şengün. Oh, maybe it's this one. Maybe it is this one. But Şengün, Mark Williams, and Mitch Robb. Şengün has just been a beast. He's been a beast. Yeah, he seriously is. That's a great call. Also, Kevin Fortune's here. Kevin Forge crushing the W free agency yesterday. But yeah, that's the situation on best ball. Here, let's jump in one of these. Let's jump in one of these drafts. Let's jump in. We'll do a fast break Friday. So this is $5 to win 10K. This is the contest that I came in 12th in last night, which was, we can go look at it while we wait. This was the lineup. 12th place, we had Precious Achiuwa, who was a late swap for, I forget who. So many people got ruled out, it's hard to tell. But we got Maxey dropped 57, D'Lo with 51, Hartenstein with 45, Santi Aldama with 38, Clarkson with 32. But Precious was the guy. Precious was the guy last night. All right, let's go back over here. Let's go to the draft. So we get the first overall pick, baby. First overall pick. Influencer status. That's what happens. Put in the time. You got to let them know. Let them know that you're doing it. You're doing the draft so they can hit you up. While we wait for this to get going, what are people up to this weekend? Anybody have any exciting plans? I don't think I'm doing. Oh, is Justin's show this weekend or is that next weekend? Let me see. I think that's next weekend, February 10th. Also, just a reminder, if anybody's going to be in Indianapolis for All-Star Game weekend, let me know. Let me know. Going to the No Dunk show on that Friday night, which will be exciting. Well, you're going to an art show tonight? Hell yeah. Tesla, you're in Canada, right? Are you in like the Toronto area? All right, here we go. We're on the clock. We're taking Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Are Jacques and IQ confirmed back? I thought they both were participants in practice yesterday. So I believe they're projected to be in. Let me actually see what they have on here. They still have them as questionable for Friday. Quickly, Jakob Pertl, RJ are questionable heading into Friday's contest. Jonte is doubtful. I would like Quickly to be back, but not RJ, honestly. Ooh, going to the Thunder game tonight. Brandon Miller, career high. Do you think so? Aren't you going to get the Doherty is in, right? Do you put Lou Dort on him? Unfortunately, Bridges has been like absolutely balling for them with no LaMelo. LaMelo's already been ruled out tonight too, I believe. Ooh, Jesus Christ, superstar this weekend. Okay, Fortune Main. I saw Kimberly Akimbo this week. I had to tell you, it was weird. But everybody loves it. It's like a highly rated. I think it's won some Tonys, but it was I think, and I also didn't know this, but I think the run's about to end. But it was good. It's hard to go to a bad Broadway show, you know. It's just Broadway. It's either like good or great. Why does that play sound familiar? Honestly, it's like the story. Remember that movie Jack with Robin Williams? That's what it feels like. It's like someone who has that disease that they get old fast. So it was like someone who was in their 50s playing a 16-year-old. So that always throws me off a little bit when like it's an old person playing a child. So it took me a while to warm up. But there was someone who played this like comedic relief character, the aunt, that was so funny that because I would say like halfway through the first act, I was kind of out. I was kind of out on it. And that character was so good that it won me back. All right, here we go. I already mentioned that I was a big fan of Bam tonight. So we're going to throw Bam in there against Washington. We'll take him. I kind of want to take Scotty Barnes over everybody else here. Normally, I would take Şengün, but the questionable illness is making me nervous. So we'll just hope Harden lights up Detroit. I'm not sure what the nightlife is like in Detroit. Are you doing a post-trade show? Yeah, we'll do a trade deadline show again. Maybe we'll get Dustin out of retirement. Dustin used to pop on. We used to do that. Yeah, I would like to do that. But yeah, I for living in New York, I definitely don't go to Broadway enough. I feel like I probably see one show a year. I see a lot of live shows, but I probably only see like one Broadway show once a year. I like to think athletes like to head over to Windsor, Canada when they are in Detroit. There we go. That's the indictment of the Detroit nightlife. Okay, there we go. Tesla said he'll have his options. All right. Yeah, that wasn't supposed to be disrespect to Detroit. I just meant to compare it to like the Atlantas, the Vegases, the New York City of the world. Man, is it raining out again? This sucks. I don't want to take the dog out in the rain. Kiss the rain. Anybody know who sings that song, Kiss the Rain? There's a throwback. I remember there was a girl that I liked when I was in like 8th grade, 9th grade that like loved that song. And that's the only reason I know who sings it. Kiss the rain. That's how old I am, though. Is this why you guys tuned in for stuff like this? They definitely don't go to the Windsor Ballet. What do we got going on for a Shrek rave? Sneeps, are you going to a Shrek rave? What's going on? Are there Shrek raves? All right, we're about to get on the clock here. Oh, I really wanted Chet Holmgren. I mean, I guess I don't hate getting Jaren Jackson Jr. here pretty late. Maybe we just we'll double click Jaren Jackson Jr. and Brandon Ingram. I can't imagine anybody defending Brandon Ingram or anybody on the San Antonio Spurs. That's funny, Tesla. Honestly, I wonder if no ESPN is still something that would bum people out. Because like if I'm not watching ESPN, I feel like I am the target demo for ESPN, or maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not the target demo for ESPN, but I really don't. I know I do not watch ESPN anymore. Yeah, with the people I did. It was 3 second rounders. Wasn't it 3 second rounders? Wait, no. It was Oladipo and 3 second round picks for Steven Adams. All right, I'm pretty sure Houston was the one that gave up the picks. I think, unless I read that wrong. Yeah, poor Depot, man. Poor Depot. I was a fan of his. All right, Steve, so you're getting out. I guess people dress up as an ogre and get down to some funky sounds. Okay. Big Night Live in Boston is hosting. Wow. Are you going? All right, coming in on my last pick. I would love to get Cade Cunningham with my last pick. I'd be fine with that. Also, Jalen Duren would be fun. We'll do this. I don't really want to draft Paul George. Yusuf Nurkic. One of these four I would take here. But yeah, just a reminder, I'll try to get the fast break show up. Probably, it depends how lively I'm feeling, but sometime between either 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. that'll go up. And then at 5:30 p.m. live before lock. Might be a solo bolo for live before lock. Oh, that's right. Wasn't he in what was the Masked Singer? Wasn't Depot in the Masked Singer? Dude, to the moon. To the moon. You know what? The shade on Jalen Green from the Houston organization, it's almost so much that I'm starting to root for Jalen Green. They're winning me back over. All right, come on, fellas. I think people went on auto draft here for this last round. Let's go. 6th round, boys. All right, so far the squad is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Bam Adebayo, James Harden, Jaren Jackson Jr., Brandon Ingram. Let's run it back with Jalen Duren, baby. I'm a big Duren believer. Yeah, it was. I hated that article. I talked about it a lot yesterday, so I won't rehash it, but I hated that. All right, gang, good stuff. Hey, we made it. Friday, the freaking weekend. Although I probably shouldn't be quoting R. Kelly, but hope everybody has a nice weekend. If I don't see you for the fast break content or the Team Hold So Rare content, appreciate everyone being out here. Let's all go to the Shrek rave. Oh, I didn't click the button. We're out.